Representative Ansari, you are recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm proud to represent Arizona's 3rd Congressional District, an incredibly diverse community where more than 64 languages are spoken. And like many in my district, I'm the daughter of immigrants who came to the United States for a better life. Unfortunately, the Trump administration continues to target families in my district and across the country with inhumane immigration policies, including mass deportations that are already negatively impacting our economy with extreme backlash from economists as well as the business community in Arizona. Right now, hundreds of migrants are being held in Panama and Guantanamo Bay under brutal conditions, many of whom are fleeing persecution and could face deadly consequences if deported to their home countries. This includes Artemis, an Iranian woman who converted to Christianity and would be punished by death if she went back to Iran. I guess Christian values get thrown out the window when it comes to asylum seekers. These policies are unacceptable and fundamentally un-American. We can have secure borders and also have an immigration system based in humanity. These policies do none of that. Now the Trump administration wants to expand surveillance technology to infringe on the civil liberties of immigrants and all of us in an effort to ramp up the horrific mass deportation efforts. Let's be clear, this will not stop with immigrants. If they can do this to immigrants and asylum seekers, there's nothing stopping them from doing it to American citizens as well. As we know, Elon Musk and Doge are illegally accessing Americans' private data and hacking into sensitive technology systems like Social Security and taxpayer data, which poses a grave national security threat. With that, I'd like to turn to my questions for Ms. Fleischiker. In your opinion, does ICE have the capacity to conduct mass arrests and deportations and ramp up its use of technology without relying on outside contractors?
I think ICE has a huge reliance on outside contractors. It has the capability of developing much of this technology itself, but it needs the funding and time to do that. I think that there is a very clear pipeline between ERO and the private prison industry that I don't think ultimately serves immigration enforcement, ICE, or the country.
Speaking of the pipeline between the work and the private prison industry, there's been some talk about the need to ramp up from the 41,000 beds. Can you talk a little bit more about what the numbers could look like and what the profits or, benefits could be to the private prison industry if this administration is able to fulfill all that it wants to do when it comes to mass deportations?
Again, I'm not part of the administration, so I can't speak to exactly what their plans are. Detention is very expensive. It is the largest expense in the ERO budget, and detention beds cost a lot of money. Congress appropriates that money. ERO has been above the congressionally appropriated number for years. So it really isn't a matter of ERO not doing what it's being asked to do. It has done it. ERO, ICE, does not have those beds. It will need to purchase, rent, lease them, mainly from private prison companies. That's going to be an enormous funding source for them.
Thank you. Ms. Fleischiker, would it be dangerous in your view to allow unaccountable private security contractors to run immigration enforcement?
Of course, accountability and oversight is absolutely necessary to any contract that we would sign. As you stated very eloquently, immigration enforcement, privacy, civil rights, civil liberties don't need to be in opposition to one another. They can work in concert, and it's very important that we have the appropriate mechanisms to do that.
And finally, are you concerned that a rapid scale-up of detention facilities could mean that DHS cuts corners, fails to impose appropriate guardrails, such as vetting contractors, protecting human rights, and ensuring fair and competitive bidding processes?
Absolutely. Detention is very complicated. The people in detention need to be provided appropriate levels of care. When you ramp up too quickly, you end up using facilities that don't have the staffing levels to provide that care, don't have the capabilities of providing that care, and people get hurt or die.
Thank you so much. I yield back.